Hello Cheapskaters and welcome to my channel. My name is, just give me a moment. My name is Kath and I created the Cheapskates Club over 24 years ago now to share how my family lives the Cheapskates way, and that's debt-free, cashed up and laughing. Not because life is perfect, but because living thoughtfully and within our means gives us a kind of freedom that money alone can't buy. So if this is your first time here, I am so glad you found us. And if you've been with us for a while, welcome back. Now I can do some jiggling. Here we go. There we go. How's that? I can show your comments. So you can see them too. And Greg Evans was number one here tonight. Very keen you were. And hi Delaney, hope you're feeling better and I hope the heat isn't affecting you too much. Hi Paula, it's nice you could join us tonight, and Evelyn, Mrs. Dillagaff. Hi Cheryl, hello Sandra, and Joe. Got some lots of lovely familiar faces, familiar names here. Organising lover. First time, well, welcome. We are glad you are here. Hello, Kylie and Kathleen. We're glad you're back too. And Jane, Beverly, Michelle, Traveling Teaspoon. It sounds nice. Feeling much better? That's good. So glad to hear that, because we're in for another doozy of a heat wave this weekend, aren't we? I don't actually think it's, look at my hair, it's so frizzy you probably can't tell. Hannah cut it for me and it's not really this short because she didn't cut it quite as short as I wanted it, thank goodness, because it's gone all frizzy because the weather's just crazy. It is so sticky and horrible here at the moment. All right, so let me give you a bit of background about what I want to talk about tonight. Because the Cheapskates way, living the Cheapskates way in 2026 is not about extremes. It's not about doing without. It's not about feeling guilty because you don't do without or being miserable just to save money. It's about learning how to live well for less deliberately, doing it on purpose. Remember this year I said, I want it to be a calm year, a gentle year. I want it to be a kinder year. So in 2026, we are not panicking. We are not bracing for disaster. And we are not going to deprive ourselves just in case. We're going to live the Cheapskates way. That's calmly, deliberately, and on purpose. We're choosing budgets that flex with real life. We're going to shop smarter, not harder. We're building stockpiles that give us options. So very important. We're building stockpiles that give us options, not anxiety. We are using what we have. Again, another really important thing. And I've been saying this for years. This is a use it up year. And you know what? I haven't used everything up yet. I have yarn, I have craft supplies, we have food, we have seeds, we have enough of everything to survive. We're going to try buying gently used first if we have to buy. And we're only going to buy new when it absolutely truly makes sense, when there is no other choice, no other option to get what we need. Then we'll buy new after we've done our research, after we've shopped around, after we've saved up so we can pay cash for whatever it is. And this is a biggie, guys. This is a really big, this is huge. And it's something that I know some of you are going to struggle with. Some of you already do struggle with it. I know I did back in the day. We are letting go of what doesn't matter. If it's not important to you, ditch it. We are letting go of what doesn't matter so we can absolutely fully enjoy the things that do. Because cheapskating isn't about doing without. It's about living the good life for less. And yes, it is about giving too, but it's about living the good life for less every single day with confidence, knowing that we're doing the right thing for ourselves, for our families, because we don't have to worry about our next door neighbour and what they're doing. We don't have to worry about our cousin and what they're doing. We don't have to worry about the person that sits next to us on the train and what they're doing. Our responsibility is to ourselves and our family. If we can't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of our family. If we can't take care of our family, we're not going to be any good to anyone else. So first and foremost this year, we are putting ourselves first and then our families. That's going to be the Cheapskates way in 2026. And it's going to be debt. If you have a question, put it in all capitals so it stands out in the chat so I can see it, because otherwise I might miss it. Hi, Annabelle. Hello, Melissa. Kathleen's read the updated Super Shopper guide. Yahoo! Well done. Don't forget to read the challenges too, Kathleen. And with Super Shopper, it is jump in where you are and do what you can. It's a challenge. It's kind of replaced our $300 a month food challenge, although we are still aiming for $300 a month. We're doing it a little bit differently. So just jump in where you are and do what you can. Hello, Suzanne. Hi, Maureen. Oh, Helen, that's wonderful. Helen says she's starting to apply the info from the videos in real time. Woohoo! Well done. That makes me happy. Can you tell? Hi, Fiona. Yes. Depends where you are to see the aurora, but it is stunning. There you go. No one knows what you do inside your own home. You've been doing hand washing to save on water. Why not? You're welcome, Kathy. It was a great tip. Look, I know you're a teacher, and I know we have lots of teachers in the Cheapskates Club. And I know just from when I was working and my kids are little, and it is stressful at the best of times trying to get, it's stressful now. And I don't have children to worry about. Trying to get a meal on the table and still be kind to yourself. So I loved your tip. It was absolutely brilliant. Okay, so let's get back to this. For us, January is always a reset month. Now, this is the first time I've ever called it a reset month, and I know reset is the trendy word at the moment. It's the one that gets all the pings or whatever it is that it gets. It's always been a review and modify month for us. It's when we sit down and go over our budget from the year just gone, and we don't do it to criticize ourselves. We can't change the past, we can only change the future. We don't do it to feel guilty, but we do it so that we know, absolutely know, what happened to our money, where it went, what it went on, how much of it actually went. And we look for the gaps. We check the categories that stay on track. We're honest with ourselves about the ones that didn't. Electricity was a big one this last year. because this is something I want you to really remember. Really, really remember. Write it down if you have to. Your budget is fluid. It's not set in cement. It is meant to change. It is meant to be flexible. Our expenses aren't fixed. Grocery prices go up and down. Fuel prices go up and down. Power bills just go up. Um, Incomes change. The cost of day-to-day living changes. We might all of a sudden have to spend money at the pharmacy that we've never had to spend before, or have other medical costs that we've never had before. Or we could find out this year, if you've got little kids, you've moved from daycare to school fees. And that means you've got uniforms and shoes and books and sports uniforms and sports fees and music fees and all sorts of things. So our budgets have to be able to cope with real life. So your budget is not set in cement. It is supposed to be flexible. And that's why we review it and we do a reset, to use that popular phrase again. It's also why I do a mini check at the end of every month, just to make sure we're on track. Then we do a proper reset or review at the end of the year or at the start of the new year. And yes, I run a January to December budget. I don't do a financial year budget. Financial year budgets drive me batty. And that's me. If that works for you, that's what you do. But my planner goes from January to December. So my budget's going to go from January to December. It just makes sense to me and it works for me. You run your budget however is easiest for you, because the best budget is the one that you'll actually stick to. You can download so many and you can join so many budget app things, but if you don't use them, or if they're not exactly right for you, or they're too complicated, or it's not going to work. So you run your budget however it's easiest for you. I'll say it again, the best budget is the one that you'll actually stick to. If that's pen and paper in a notebook, so be it. If it's an app on your phone, go for it. If you've got a fancy spreadsheet on your computer and it works, keep doing it. As long as it works, you can do whatever you like. It's your budget, not mine, yours. It's not set in cement. Now, I've gone over our budget for 2026, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This year is going to be tight for us for a number of reasons. But when I took a step back and took a breath, because I was starting to get a bit stressed about it, I thought, oh, you know what? Everyone feels that way at the moment. Everyone is feeling that money this year is going to be tight. So we made some adjustments. We shifted a few categories around. We have been very deliberate with where our money will go. So tonight, I want to talk about how we're going to live the Cheapskates way in 2026 and how we're going to save money, because we need to save money. We have a holiday planned, how we're going to stay on budget, and how we're going to future-proof our frugal life. And before anyone panics, this is not a show about apocalypse prepping. It's not a show about panic stockpiling. There's no bunkers in the backyard. There's no panic buying. There's no fear-based spending. This is going to be calm and practical, intentional cheapskating. And it's pretty much what we have always done here at the Cheapskates Club. All right, now sit back. Oops, what did I do? Click the wrong button. Oh, wrong button again. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Yes, Kathy, with 5 teenagers, you would need to be organised. And three from Monday through Thursday, and then from Friday to Sunday, who knew how many were going to be here? Hello, Daniel Daniel Berry's sports highlight. Woohoo! Greg says, I've been using a tip to check your bank account balance every day. It only takes a second. It shouldn't cost you anything. And it just helps you to stay on top of those random things that suddenly come out that you might have forgotten about. And it also reminds you that you do actually have a limited amount of cash. Kathleen says their budget's tight this year, broken solar, hot water, wedding, less income. Yep, we're all feeling the pinch. Hi, Jenny. Hello, Yvonne. You've got the time. Well, you're not very late. In fact, you're not late at all. You can always go back and watch the beginning on the replay. That's the beauty of YouTube, isn't it? So we're going to talk about future-proofing our frugal life, not just our budget, but our whole life. So for us, we sat down, we had a chat about it on Sunday afternoon, because we had some time and it was horrible outside. So for us, future-proofing our frugal life means we're going to stick to our budget. Planning meals, I've always planned our meals. I'm going to try to really stick more to the meal plan, although because it's an ingredients-based pantry, switching things around isn't that difficult. Using what we already have before we buy more. I'm probably a bigger culprit than Wayne at this, because I'm see pretty fabric and go, oh, pretty fabric. I see yarn and go, oh, yarn, or gorgeous papers and paper. So I've pat myself on the back. I have been really good this month with the fabric I bought. Every piece of fabric I bought has a purpose. I didn't buy any yarn. I was tempted to. Some of them were so pretty. I didn't buy any yarn. I have yarn that I can use up for different things. But every piece of fabric I bought, and I loaded my arms up. I think I talked about this last week. I loaded my arms up with the bolts, and then I moved over and put them out, and I looked at them and went, I don't really know what I will do with that, and back it went. I only kept the ones that I had a plan for, so I was very proud of myself for that. But it still did add to the fabric stash. Otherwise, I'm pretty good, really. So we're going to really try to use what we already have before we buy more. We were talking about buying, for example, and we've decided not to, buying an induction plate for our camper as an alternative source of cooking if we ever need it, because we have gas and we can, do a campfire if it's not a total fire ban. So that's two we're sort of covered with. We thought the induction cooker might give us another option. And they're not expensive. They're about $80, I think. But in talking on Sunday, we went, we don't really need it. And I was talking to my friend Karen about hers, and she went, she's not really fussed on hers. It takes a bit of getting used to, and she would still prefer the gas over the induction. And I went, okay. And I explained all that to Wayne, and he went, okay, cross that off the list. So we're being really mindful about making sure what we buy is absolutely necessary. We're going to watch how much electricity and water we use. We have a big electricity bill, but there are 4, sometimes 5, sometimes more people in this house, and 3 of us work from home 5 days a week. So that sort of pushes the bill up there a bit. I budget $100 a week. It's not quite $100 a week. It's about $82 a week for our electricity bill. But it's still a lot. It's still more than it was when it was just me home during the day. And I know prices have gone up. So we're going to be really conscious about how much electricity we use. We're pretty good with water. I just actually got the water bill, and we only use 90 litres of water per person per day. I think the limit's 150, and that's for 5 people, when most of the, well, it's pretty much 5 people here now. So our water use isn't too bad. I would like to get it down though, but in saying that, most of it goes in the garden. Until we get rain to fill the rain barrels, most of it's going in the garden. When we buy something, we're going to try and buy gently used first. Buy new as a last resort. For a few reasons: to save money, to save the environment. I will fess up here and say I have no problem with saving the environment, but I want to save money first. And I will also fess up and say that not everything that's supposed to be environmentally friendly or good for the environment actually is. So, and I'm not going to pay more for dishwashing detergent or washing powder, or when I can do those things myself and they are almost exactly the same for a fraction of the price. It means for us that we're not going to just mindlessly upgrade. We don't generally do that. I'm not me so much. Wayne is the tech person here. He likes gadgets and things. When a new one comes out, he gets a bit antsy and he would like it. So we're just not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. We don't need, if what we've got still works, we don't need to upgrade. We're not going to try and keep up with anyone else. I don't think we do that anyway. But all of that comes back to our number one rule. And I think you all have heard me say this over and over and over. You ditch the stuff that's not important to you so you have the cash to enjoy the things that are. That is the foundation of everything we do. And it is exactly why in 2026, Cheapskates Club is focusing so strongly on shopping smarter and building security without the stress. That was my phone ringing. It was probably my daughter. What am I growing in the pots in the sink? Eve, they are, what are they? Hydrangeas. They were given to me for Christmas, and the heat got to them. So I've cut them back and I've been soaking them gently in the sink to try and perk them up a bit. I think I will be able to save them. I was really disappointed because they're the, what are they called? The snowball hydrangeas. So they've got the slightly smaller flower and it's all puffy. Just really, really pretty. And I love hydrangeas. So that's what they are. And I'm guarding them and tending them carefully on my kitchen sink, which probably is not the most hygienic place for them, but you know what? It works for me. Cheryl's doing low spend grocery months. One thing's emphasized to me: what needs using, not what do I feel like when it comes to meals. Greg Evans puts 100 a fortnight on every utility bill, electricity, gas, water, council rates before you pay anything else. Then there's no big surprises. Yes, that's exactly right. Kylie says our goal for the end of 2025 was fixed price fortress. We did our major shop for 2026, projected to save $450 to $600, accounting for inflation this year. You know, people don't understand why I do the bulk of my shop once a year. That week between Christmas and New Year, when I hit the Aldi, Coles, Woolies, the Asian grocers, whatever, the butchers, whatever, they don't understand that I'm actually not only filling the pantry for the year, but I'm beating inflation. Even though I buy mostly generics that are still pretty cheap, they do occasionally through the year go up. If I can buy ahead, I'm eating in this year, we'll be eating in February, March, April, May, June, July at December prices. It does save you a lot of money. It works. Okay, now. Right. Okie dokie. So, I'm trying really, I've got times here. I've given myself time limits to talk over all these things too. So I don't want to hold you up tonight if I don't have to. Look, until you sit down and you work out what is really important to you, living the Cheapskates way, frugal living can just be miserable. It can feel miserable. You can feel like you're depriving yourself. You can cut expenses. You can start a budget. But instead of feeling empowered, you feel deprived. And that's for a few reasons. And a big one for most of us is friends and family haven't changed how they live. They're still eating out. They're still buying new clothes, still upgrading gadgets, still going away on holidays, still, spending a fortune on treats for the children and getting their nails done, or they have Netflix and whatever. And you're not. So you feel a bit deprived. Now I can tell you, I was thinking about this today when I was working on this. Last year, Wayne and I ate out in a restaurant once for the entire year. That was our choice. We chose not to do that. Now, we did have an Indian takeaway and and there was a new kebab place opened and we tried them. But we ate out once for the entire year. And that was with friends. It was a special occasion with friends, and it wasn't even expensive because we went to the local club. So it was not expensive. That was our choice. Did we feel deprived? No. And you know what? I don't know. This year might be exactly the same. I can't see us eating out this year. We don't have plans to. It's just not what we do. We didn't go to the movies at all last year. We do like to go to the movies, but that just shows you there was nothing that we really wanted to see. So we made those choices. And it didn't feel like we were being deprived. But if you don't have a clear vision, a clear plan for living the Cheapskates way, then your frugality will feel like a punishment. It'll feel like a severe punishment and not a fabulous, wise choice. About 30 years ago, Wayne and I sat down and we consciously went over everything in our lives. It's actually closer to 32 years ago, thinking about how long we've been married. And we asked ourselves one simple question. Is it really important to us? The things that were truly important went on our priority list. Everything else went on a maybe list, or it was on the, ooh, why do we even bother with that? And out it went. Because working hard to earn money, to spend it on something that's really not important to you, that you probably don't even really want, like, enjoy, is pointless. It's a waste. So that's sort of the mindset behind Super Shopper Challenge. I'm Super Shopper. We're not buying less because we can, but we're buying deliberately. We're buying with a plan. We're buying with confidence, so that we know we'll get that grocery bill under control and fill that pantry with ingredients that will give us so many options for a variety of meals that we will never get sick of. Now, for us, we're at a point of our life, if we have cash and we really want something, fine, we can have it. But if we don't, we say no. And way back then, it was the same. If we had the cash and we really wanted something, we didn't deprive ourselves. If we didn't have the cash, and I mean cash in our hot little hands, we said no. And that's not because we were being mean. It's because those things weren't really important enough to us for us to sacrifice what was. It's absolutely incredibly easy to overspend when you don't know what matters most to you. It's easier to say yes. Your best friend rings up and says, oh, we're going out for tea. Would you like to come with us? Or we think we'll go to the movies on Saturday night. We're going to go gold class. Do you want to come with us? We thought we'd go for a day trip to the hills and have afternoon tea at Miss Marple's. Do you want to come with us? All those little expenses. But small expenses without intention add up, and they add up really, really fast. Now, if you track your spending, you will know that. You will know that the dollar ice cream once is fine, but if you buy that dollar ice cream for the child every day of the week, that's $7 a week just on an ice cream. That's 2 bottles of milk. So, they add up fast. And I think that's one reason why I'm jumping about a bit here, but that's why Super Shopper Challenge focuses so much on the lists, on the planning, on being aware of your prices, on your shopping cycles. Because once you're in control of how and when you shop, you stop leaking money without even realizing it. And you are not deprived, and you don't feel deprived. Now, I have to just jump up for 1 second and get something that I just thought I need to show you. Give me 5 seconds. Okay, I'm back. I'll show you. I'll sit it there and I'll show you in a moment. Now, I've said this over and over again too. My priorities are my priorities. They're going to be different to yours, and yours are going to be different to your brothers and to your mothers and to your next door neighbours and to your best friends. We're all different. So your priorities might include paying the mortgage and getting ahead. Might be changing schools, putting your kids in better schools. It might be more family time, so cutting back your work time so you've got more family time. It could be owning Christmas and family celebrations through the year, the birthdays, the anniversaries. Could be paying cash for a holiday. It could be, if you're a mum or a dad, choosing to stay home with the kids instead of working outside the home. It could be your hobbies. You might become a fabric collector or a yarn collector or a train collector. It could be early retirement. None of those are wrong. What matters is choosing what is your priority, not just drifting along going, Kath said, we need to choose, ditch the stuff that's not important to us. So she doesn't eat out, so we won't eat out. But if eating out is really important to you, you're going to feel really bad if you don't do it. I won't, because I don't care. I would much rather eat at home or with my friends and be able to relax than have to get in the car and drive to the restaurant. So what matters is choosing, not just drifting. I've done it again. Right, I've got to jump up. My typing is not great. Um, Maureen's being careful, yes. Um, Woolies 10% off for having your phone with them is capped at $50 off, plus your car is small and your back is bad, so I'm more a keep stock person. Yes. Sorry to hear that, Maureen. I can honestly say I have no complaints about our public health system. Absolutely none. And in the last 10 years, I've had so many trips to hospital and so many procedures, and it's never an issue, never been an issue. Um, I've always had excellent care, always. I hope he's better soon. Um, Shopping goes up. Yeah, see, if you shop once a year, you don't have that stress. Um, I wanted him to retire 5 years ago. I would have been happy if he took early retirement 5 years ago. We're getting closer to retirement age, but we're not there yet, but we're getting closer. But I would have loved, but he doesn't want to retire. He likes what he does. So he's happy to keep going. I don't know that I don't know that I want him to, but we will see. But yes, we have been working. When we turned 50, we sort of went, you know what, won't be long and we will retire. Back then it was we will retire. And we thought, wow. And we had a look at superannuation and different things and went, yeah, nah, we need to do a bit more. So we have 4 years, we have been consciously, for 10 years or so, consciously working on getting ahead for retirement. We will be self-funded. We won't qualify for a pension, and that's fine. I don't particularly want one for various reasons, but we will be self-supporting or self-funded in our retirement. I don't think it. And I think if you go back about, I think 2015, I worked out, I think it was 2015, I worked out then that I went to ASIC and had a look at their figures and we were working it out. And back then we were a family, we were still a family of five, there's 3 kids at home, Wayne and I, and we were living then on a modest single person income, what ASIC said a single person needed to live a modest lifestyle after retirement. And we were living then on that. It hasn't changed much since then. The biggest expense has been car registration's gone up a lot. Insurance has too, but not as much. And electricity. Electricity is the killer for me in my budget. So there we go. I think we don't treat the elderly very well in Australia. I am of the opinion that if you reach 65 or 67, or it's going to go up to 70, and you have worked all that time and you have paid taxes, you have raised a family and supported the country, then I don't care whether you've got 50 cents in the bank or $50 million in the bank. I don't care whether you live in the cheapest house in the cheapest suburb or the most expensive house in the most expensive suburb. You have earned your age pension. There should be no means test. There should, on your age pension, it should just be, thank you so much for doing what you have done for our country. This is how we're going to repay you until you kick the bucket. that doesn't happen. And it kind of really annoys me. It annoyed me so much when my mum and Wayne's parents retired and I watched what they went through. And it was sort of back then, and I've gone, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. It is criminal the way we treat aged Australians in this country. Um, the Link family, welcome. Ouch. Insurance. Um, um, my great auntie, bless her, she was just gorgeous. She was my dad's auntie, so she was quite old. She put her age down to get a job. After her husband passed away, she put her age down to get a job. So she dropped her age by 15 years to get a job, which meant that she was 84 when they finally clued in that, hang on a minute, you should have been gone 19 years ago. Um, she just kept working. And I think we do, most of us do too. I don't particularly. When I say retire, I just don't want to be tied to a 9 to 5 job. I don't have a 9 to 5 job in that I'm tied to one place. My work's mobile. As long as I can get internet access, I can talk to you guys. My work's mobile. And Wayne's work is to a point too. But yeah. So I think if you want to keep going, keep going. It keeps your mind busy, keeps you fit and healthy, keeps you young, gives you an interest. The couple of days Wayne was off over Christmas and it was warm and he couldn't do anything outside and he was like a bear with a sore tooth because he can't sit still. That's not him. Even when he's not well, he's still doing something. So, I'm sorry for your mother-in-law, Maureen. Hi, Joy. Yeah, Delaney. Do you know what? If our government was to do that, it would cost them far less. It would cost less. If someone did the sums, it would actually cost less than the carrying on that goes on now about it, which is really crazy. But my attitude is, I've said this before too, you know what? If you don't work, you don't pay tax. So you can't draw back on the system. You've not contributed to it. You don't get anything out of it. By all means, we shouldn't be heartless and say you get nothing, but 3 months, absolutely 3 months, and then that's it, you're on your own. And if you can't find a job, doesn't matter what the job is, if you can't find a job in that 3 months, and it doesn't matter, it could be raking leaves. I don't care if you're a brain surgeon. If raking leaves is all you can get, then raking leaves is what you do. We need to stop the mollycoddling. There you go. How's that a word? Never thought I'd say that word. Mollycoddling of people that think they are too precious. And we need to stop raising entitled children. There we go. And I said this was going to be a really kind, gentle year. Wow, Jane. And see, and we should be able to take care of our elderly. We should be able to take care of them. Um, Joy was 68 when she retired, yeah. Joy, I thought you were going to just go till you were 110. I thought you were never going to retire. Um, okay. What about carers or those on disability? If you're on disability, you're on disability. There's a reason you're there. I wasn't saying anything about that. Um, they need to be taken care of. That's what I said. And as for carers, then it's the same deal. If you are physically caring for someone, but you shouldn't be paid to have children. You bring a child into the world, that child's your responsibility. You raise it. Um, and just because you say, I am a nuclear physicist and I can't get a job, too bad. Go work at Macca's, go mow lawns, or teach. Crying out for teachers, retrain as something else. There are options other than sitting on government benefits. Moving right along. Okay. All right. So when disaster struck for us, our priorities were pretty clear. The kids' education, me being able to stay home with them, paying down our mortgage, building an emergency fund, and creating no new debt. Everything else went. There were no new clothes. There was no going on holidays. We lived 500 kilometres from one set of parents, 500 kilometres from the other set of parents. We were smack bang in the middle. We had, we were on our own, and everything else went. We did not do trips. We did not go out. If it wasn't free, we didn't do it. I went into town once a week, and then the next time we went was to church. That was it. I shopped once a month. That was it. And if I didn't get it in that monthly shopping, it had to wait till the next monthly shop. That's how I came to build a stockpile properly. And it wasn't hoarding, it wasn't panic buying, it was deliberately planning to keep the pantry, the freezer, the household essentials stocked, so we weren't forced into expensive last minute purchases because we did not have the money. If you want to know how to stock your pantry, go to the members hub, and the how to build your stockpile series is there for you. And that is, it's steady, it's sensible. It'll give you options, it'll give you breathing room, not a whole heap of clutter, and it won't give you food that you're not going to eat. We said no to restaurants. Our friends, we were in a babysitting club, so it was easy to go out because we could get a sitter. We had to say no. We didn't have pay TV. It was Optus at the time. And we're in the country, so we only had we had ABC and Win. We didn't have takeaway. We didn't upgrade our cars. In fact, we sold both our good cars and bought one older car. We changed how we shopped, so I went to monthly shopping. I learned the sales cycles. I learned where all the op shops were in town and which ones were the really good ones. We tried the generics and cheaper brands. If we didn't like it, then we didn't like it. We'd try something else until we found one that we liked. If we didn't find a generic brand that we liked, we'd go back to our regular brand, but we'd wait till it was on sale. I'd wait till it was on sale to buy it. And our stockpile grew. It grew slowly, but it was sensible. And shopping actually became calmer. It was just once a month. Wayne come, he'd put the kids in one trolley and I pushed the other trolley. It was cheaper. It was $200 a month guaranteed. And I knew those prices. If it was $200.05, something had to go because I did not have that 5 cents. It was less stressful for us. I knew there was food in the house for at least a month. So I could give the kids breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I could feed us. I could keep us clean, the clothes clean, the house clean. It was much less stressful. We weren't scrambling all the time, and we weren't reacting. We were choosing. We were choosing where our money went. And I have to tell you, I'm going to change the name. I had an email once from a lady. She was doing absolutely everything right, and she was meal planning. She was turning off the lights. She was watching the power use, nagging the kids, turn off the PowerPoints, not buying anything unnecessary. She was cutting back, but she felt miserable. She couldn't stand it. She hated it. She felt so deprived. What she was missing wasn't effort, it was context. She was doing all the things without having the systems and the confidence that come from the time, come from practice, come from support in place. She was doing all the things without looking ahead to the big picture and seeing how much better off she would be in a month, in 3 months, in 6 months, 12 months, 5 years. Super Shopper Challenge helps you see that bigger picture. Stockpile Hub does the same thing. And again, if you haven't gone and joined the Super Shopper Challenge yet, log in and go to the Members Hub. It is there for you. And it's really good. It is really good. And I will tell you, look, when disaster struck and I had $200 a month, that was less than half what I normally spend. In the beginning, I hated it. I hated having to count every cent, constantly saying no. But that was temporary. And if you're in that stage now, it is temporary. As your pantry fills, as your skills grow, as your confidence builds, as you get your budget under control, and on top of the bills, life gets easier. And you stop feeling deprived and you start feeling secure. And that gives you the best peace of mind to know that when a bill comes in, the money is in the account to pay for it. To know that if you can't get to the shops this week, you've got food in the pantry, in the fridge, in the freezer to last you a week or 2 weeks. It's not your kids aren't going to go hungry. It's not going to be a disaster. It'll be okay. That peace of mind is priceless. Now, it's not an all or nothing thing. And you don't have to do everything at once. You might have heard me say back in the beginning when I was talking to Kathleen, she's just caught up on Super Shopper. And as I said, you jump in where you are and you do what you can. You don't have to do everything all at once. Take it one step at a time. Change one habit. Change one shop. Change one decision. That's how we do it the Cheapskates way. Because cheapskating isn't about being miserable. It's not about being miserable with money in the bank. It's not about being miserable with all the lights turned off, just so you can save some money. It's about learning how to live debt-free, how to live cashed up, and how to live with laughter. It's about living the good life for less. And that's calmly, confidently, and intentionally. And that's another one of those trendy words. But it's what we do because we choose to live this way. So that's what we're doing in 2026. It's how we're going to save money. It's how we're going to stay on budget. It's how we will pay for our 6-week holiday in June and July. We're going to Flinders Ranges. Can you tell I'm a bit excited? I've been talking about this for a while. We're going to Flinders Ranges. We're going to Flinders Ranges. But we're doing it the same way we always do, and we will pay cash for the entire holiday. So we've got to save that money now. It's why we live the Cheapskates way. And it's why in January we do a budget reset, review, and make the changes that we need so that we can keep on living the Cheapskates way. It's the only way to live a good life. It's the only way to live a good life. It's the only way to live a good life with peace of mind. Okay, now, hi Heather. Right, going back. Well done, Joy. Jane. Jane says her son's partner is an environmental scientist currently between jobs. She's house painting to bring in an income. When Wayne lost his job, and he's a locksmith and safe maker by trade, when he lost his job, he picked potatoes, he planted strawberries, he ploughed paddocks, he did fencing, he rolled roads for the local council, he picked pumpkins, he pruned trees. That one made me laugh because Wayne's idea of pruning isn't quite mine. But anyway, he did whatever he could. He let it be known everywhere. He worked in a hardware shop. He let it be known everywhere that he would take whatever work he could get. Now, he was out of work for 3.5 years. But in that 3.5 years, we never went more than 1 or 2 days where he didn't have some work, because he put it out there that he was this what he could do. This is what he could do. This is where he was, prepared to go. What he'd do anything. And as it turned out, he got offered a casual shift at a feedlot, starting at 3:30 in the morning, in the middle of a Riverina winter when it was -7, and he did it. And that actually turned into a full-time job for him. And he actually loved it. He loved working at the feedlot. Totally out of his, not in his trade at all. But he did everything he could. What did I do? I took him baskets of ironing. I looked after other people's children. I turned our backyard into a kindergarten. I taught creative tapestry and cross-stitch of a night. I did whatever I could so that I could stay home with my children during the day and still bring in some money. We did everything we possibly could. So good on her, Jane. That's amazing. I love that. Heather's retired. Save as much as you can. Fiona says 3 of her 4 kids work for extras. Yep. And gently catch the monkey. That's exactly right. And Yvonne says lots of cucumbers instead of sweet things. Do you know what? Hannah's favourite snack when she was little was cucumber or capsicum. when she started school, she was in prep, and they had to take brain food, and there was a whole list of things that, you know, we got the list sent home of what was acceptable for brain food, and capsicum and cucumbers went on that list. She wanted capsicum and cucumber. She still eats loads of capsicums and cucumbers just as a snack. It's hilarious. Cucumber's great on a really hot day. Cucumber, because it's a water vegetable, if it's cool, it's very refreshing, and there's not a lot of calories or kilojoules in it. It's brilliant. Alrighty, I am right on time, guys. Woohoo! So I will finish off. I will say thank you so much for watching, staying with me this far. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments in capitals. I'll read them. I read all the comments. I might not respond to them all, but I do read them all. If you want to know more about the Cheapskates Club, the link's down there. If you're not subscribed to my weekly newsletter, the link is down there. If you're a member, don't forget to log into the member hub and catch up with what's going on in there. Nearly forgot. Look what I found. Look what I found. 75 cents. If you live in Melbourne and you are in the Lilydale, Churnside Park, Murrelbark area, there's a discount grocery outlet on Maroondah Highway in behind Red Rooster. Is it Red Rooster? In behind Red Rooster on Maroondah Highway. It's called Best Deals, 75 cents a packet. Junket tablets. Junket tablets, folks. I bought 6 boxes. Really, really hard to get junket tablets. And we've been talking about these over on Cheapskates Chatter in the last few months. Found them. So there you go. I was very excited. I was so excited I let out a yell, and the lady standing next to me nearly died of fright, and then she bought 10 packets. She was excited to find it too. All right, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. It just means that we send you a notification when we go live or upload a video. If you like tonight's show, thumbs up, please. We've got 63 people watching at the moment. If I could get 63 thumbs up, that would be very, very exciting. And if you know someone who might like this show or might like to know more about Cheapskates, there's a share button. Just it will send them a link. Junket is made out of, it's actually made from rennet. The curds and whey. You know, junket, Little Miss Muffets and eating a curds and whey. Well, the curds is the junket. It's a milk. We use it as a dessert, but you can strain it. If this is plain, so it could be strained and used as a cream cheese. But it's just like just a really nice dessert. As a pudding, as a breakfast with some fruit. Junket, can't go past it. I was very excited when I found it. You can make ice cream with it. You can turn it into sort of like a yogo. Do they still do those? You know, those custard pudding type things? That's what junket's for. Alrighty, what did I say? Like, subscribe, share, those 3 things. I will be back next week. Yeah, junket, because it's so mild on your tummy, and because it's made with milk and the rennet or the whey, it's full of nutrition. It's really, really good for you. Okay, all right. See you next week. Hi, Hannah, watching from Tamworth, and I'm just about to go. Was that you that tried to ring me before, sweetheart? Alrighty, I will see you all next week, everyone. Have a great week, and remember, happy cheapskating. See you.